Hello everyone, and welcome back to Queen G's Recipes. And today I'm very happy to bring you a very simple and delicious recipe. It is my baked chocolate donuts. I am going to guarantee you will love these chocolate donuts and probably not want to make fried donuts ever again. So let's go on to what we're going to be needing here. For our dry mixture, we're going to be needing 2 1/4 cups of flour. Into the flour, I have added 1 1/2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. We also have 3/4 cups of milk. Here we have 1 cup of unsweetened cocoa powder, 3/4 cups of unsalted butter. Now you definitely need it to be at room temperature, but mine was on top of my stove while my oven was on, so it melted a little bit, but that's totally fine. Here we have 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract, 2 whole eggs, and we're also going to be needing 1 cup of sugar. So I'm going to be making this today in my standing mixer. You probably know that I usually make all my videos in my standing mixer just because it makes it easier and easier for you guys to see. So most definitely you can make this with a bowl, a whisk, and a spatula, but I will be making it in my mixer today, and that's about it. So let's move on. Actually, before we move on, we're going to be needing our oven to be preheated at 375 degrees Fahrenheit. And now let's move on. Alright, so before we move on to our wet ingredients, we're going to add our cocoa to our dry mixture here. Okay, and we're just going to give it a little mix. Now we'll set aside our dry ingredients until they're needed, and we're going to work on our wet ingredients. Okay, so now into our bowl, we're going to add in our butter. And we're going to add in our sugar. And we're going to mix this for about 2 minutes. Okay, so just as I went along in between mixing, I just scraped the sides of my bowl with my spatula. So if you need to do that, just go ahead throughout the mixing time. Now we'll add in both eggs. And we're going to add in our vanilla extract, and we're going to mix this for another minute or so until everything is nicely combined and creamy. Okay, so our mixture is nice and creamy, and now we're going to add in 1/2 of our milk, okay, and 1/2 of our dry ingredients. And now you don't want to overmix. You just want to mix until this is all incorporated together. Okay, so now we're ready to add in our remaining milk and remaining dry ingredients. Okay, and we'll mix again just until incorporated. Alright, so our mixture is complete. So now I'm just going to clean my paddle attachment, just scrape off any excess dough on here. And then we're going to work on preparing our donuts. Alright, so what I have here are some donut molds. Now, most definitely, these are very inexpensive when you purchase them at a place like Michael's, like a craft store. They sell all kinds of Wilton products and baking products in there. So I really find that they're inexpensive, and they're definitely worth it if it's for something you're going to be making, you know, often. And with something like this, these do last a long time. So I did purchase mine there, but most definitely wherever you can find them, and at a lower cost, you purchase where is best for you. Now, what I'm going to do here is, before anything, I want to make sure that you guys have your molds well sprayed with some nonstick spray or some softened butter, or even some margarine will be perfectly fine. They just make sure they're greased, so there's going to be no problem with removing them once they're baked. Now, with our dough here, what I find easier is placing it in a piping bag. Now, if you don't have any piping bags on hand, you can always use a Ziploc bag and just cut the tip when you're done. So very inexpensive, very worth it when making donuts that are baked, because the dough, as you can see, is pretty thick. So it's not going to be very easy to place in your mold with some spoons. But most definitely, if you find an easier way, you go for it. So I'm just gonna prepare my piping bag here. Okay. All right. So like this. Okay, so most definitely I find that filling them 3/4 full is perfect. So I'm just going to take my piping bag, which I have already cut the tip off here, and just fill the molds. Now you're going to have to cut off a generous amount of your piping bag, or else the dough will not come out. Now, if you find that you don't want to purchase a donut mold, most definitely you could try. I have never personally done this, but I have seen it on the internet, where people do use a muffin tin, and then they create a little centerpiece with a bit of aluminum foil, and they just place it in the middle and just work around that little foil. So you could try that as well. I mean, there's no harm in trying. So just an idea. And now to bake these, you're going to be baking them for about 10 to 12 minutes. Every oven varies, but it should not take longer than that. Okay, so now I'm going to go on preparing my other molds, and I'm going to place these into the oven, and I'll let you know what they look like when they're done. All right, so this set of donuts baked for exactly 10 minutes. Now, if you're uncertain if they're baked yet or not, you can always place a toothpick in the center on the side of the donut, just to make sure that you know the timing that your donuts take in the oven, so when you continue baking your remaining donuts, you know to leave them in at the right time. So that's that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to let them cool in the pan for about 5 minutes, and then we're going to place them on a cooling rack, and then once they're completely cooled, we will make our chocolate glaze. Alright, so I have completely baked all of my donuts. It gave me 24 donuts, so it should give you around that amount. Now, I did make them a nice generous size, so it also does depend how much you put in your donut pans. So now I'm going to allow them to cool off, so give them about an hour, so maybe 45 minutes to an hour. I'm just going to cover them with a clean tea towel, and then we're going to go on to making our chocolate frosting. Okay, so now we're going to make our chocolate frosting. Now we're going to make some sort of a ganache. And what I have in my saucepan here, I haven't put the temperature on yet, but I did add in You may use bittersweet and you may use milk chocolate or even dark chocolate chips. It's totally up to you, but I will be making the semi-sweet because I find it is the perfect sweetness for our donuts. So now on medium-low temperature, we are going to allow this to melt our chocolate and warm up our heavy cream at the same time. So continuously stirring, make sure you do not leave the stove unattended because the chocolate and cream will easily scorch. So you need to keep an eye on this at all times until everything is completely melted and mixed together. All right, so as you can see, our chocolate ganache is perfect. It's perfectly melted. Our chocolate is perfectly melted and perfectly combined in with our heavy whipping cream. So now what I'm going to do is I already have my stovetop off, and I'm going to add in about 1 to 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract and just stir it. And now I'm going to allow this to sit at room temperature. I'm going to take it off my stovetop and allow it to sit at room temperature for about half an hour, and then we'll go on to dipping our donuts. Okay, so our donuts are completely cooled and our ganache is warm, but it's fine to work with. Now, I just wanted to let you guys know, before allowing your ganache to just sit for about half an hour or so, before dipping your donuts, just cover it with some plastic wrap. And what I did was I made sure the plastic wrap was touching the chocolate ganache so that we don't create a film on our chocolate. So now we'll just remove this here. And we'll remove our tea towel from our donuts here. And now what I have here are some different choices of sprinkles, most definitely optional. Even if you guys just want to place a simple glaze here with some confectioner's sugar and some milk, that would be fine too. But I am going to dip them in this wonderful chocolate sauce. And with my spatula, I'm just going to give it a little stir here. Okay. Now it's lukewarm right now, but that's perfectly fine because it is nice and thick, as you can see. And so what we're going to do is we'll take our donuts, dip it, okay, shake off any excess chocolate, and look at that perfection. And now we'll just allow them to sit on our cooling racks here to dry. Okay. All right. There we go. We'll do one more. All right. Okay. Now I'm going to continue on dipping my donuts, and then we're going to do some decorations. Okay, so I have glazed or dipped all of my donuts in our chocolate ganache sauce. Now, just a tip, I made extra ganache because I'm going to be making more for some guests that I have coming over tomorrow, but most definitely half of the ganache recipe will be more than enough for 24 donuts. I will leave the recipe in the link below, and then you guys can adjust it to whatever how many amount of donuts you are making. So now just a few options. I mean, most definitely you can leave them like this, but I just want to show you how I like to decorate mine. So just with some chocolate sprinkles. That. Okay. I mean, it adds a little something, looks very pretty. You can also add some of these sprinkles. I mean, you can pretty much do whatever you want. You can do half. Like that. Okay. I also have some confetti little decorations here. Make sure you decorate them as soon as you finish dipping them, or else it will start to harden and then you won't be able to decorate them. And that's it. I mean, you can do whatever you like and decorate them. You can even add some coconut. There are so many possibilities, and I really hope you guys try this recipe and comment down below what you thought about the recipe. And that's about it, guys. Look at these beauties. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I definitely enjoyed making this video for you guys. And if you have any questions, leave it down in the comments down below. Also, the recipe is always in the description box. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give it a nice thumbs up, help our channel grow. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, so that you can see my future delicious recipes. And don't forget to share the video, share it with your family, share it with your friends, and just enjoy it. Make it with your kids, with your family members. And I also wanted to let you guys know that there will be new videos posted every Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. So stay tuned and make sure you have your notifications on when you subscribe, so that you will definitely receive all of my uploads. And that's about it, guys. So take care, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye, everyone.